This is 110.5 proof, batch 60.
Yep.
Kentucky straight rye whiskey by Peerless.
That's right.
I'm kind of clueless when it comes to Peerless.
Yeah, we don't know anything about it.
But yeah, this is, we're actually doing the straight rye whiskey.
It's our first venture into Peerless. They're out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Brandon, Steve. Today we're taking a look at Peerless. We're actually doing the straight rye whiskey, 110 proof.
Yeah, that's today.
Yep.
We do have the high rye, double oak rye, and the double oak bourbon. So in the next few weeks, we'll try to get through all of that. So a little bit of backstory. Supposedly they've been around since before, all that crap that happened with the, where we couldn't sell alcohol in America, that whole business that everyone forgets about. But yeah, Prohibition happened. So they were supposedly there before that. And as all companies do, I guess maybe they went, under for a little while. They were doing the same thing that like Buffalo Trace earlier in the days, when they couldn't sell the actual bourbons, they were making medicinal stuff, sending it to Canada. They did some of that, supposedly. You can look up their history, but apparently now they're back in it, and their stuff's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Got a good friend, Mr. Coy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a big fan.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I remember one of the first times he told me he liked bourbon. He said he just finished it, and he sent me a picture of a bottle. So, yeah.
I mean, it's a super unique bottle.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like these bottles. I mean, when you talk about that, like the Prohibition type thing, that's what this reminds me of. Right?
Yeah.
Like the shape of the bottle. It's a very hefty bottle. We've talked about that before.
Very hefty.
And yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool.
It's unmistakable. I mean, if you see that, there's no other bottles on the shelves looking like that. So let's get in there, man.
This is 110.5 proof, batch 60.
Yep.
Kentucky straight rye whiskey by Peerless.
That's right. And it's, supposedly this is a sweet mash, they say, versus a sour mash. And I mean, you guys can look that up as far as the technical part of it. But it has something to do with the cooking process and the fermentation process and all that stuff that goes into actually distilling a bourbon. But it says it on the back of this bottle that this is strictly a sweet mash. So I'm not sure if I've ever had a sweet mash. This is probably going to be my first time having a sweet mash, but looking forward to it because I'm hearing good things.
Just in terms of Peerless, I've heard some good things. So it smelled pretty good off the bottle.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this is a 51% rye, corn and barley mixture. I could be off on that. I'm not sure. But again, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I did read somewhere that it's 51% rye, which obviously it's got to be for it to be a rye, but they're barely a rye.
Yeah, I mean,
are you getting the rye on the?
Getting a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not a ton. It does seem sweet.
I'm getting peppery stuff. I mean,
yeah, it's nothing like crazy. It's not like crazy high. Rye
no, I'm not getting
spices,
any kind of. Yeah, I'm not getting any cinnamon. I'm not getting.
Yeah, like I said, it's more of that peppery type.
Yeah, I'm not getting cloves. I'm not getting typical stuff I get with ryes.
Oh, but then I wonder if that could be, would it be in that sweet?
Yeah, sweet peppery nose is what I'm getting. If I had to go with that.
Yeah, I agree.
It smells great.
It does.
You ready to get in there?
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Salute. Wow.
It's definitely a rye.
Wow.
Yeah. That's good.
Man, that's good.
Because it's got everything that we like. So we've talked about it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm as big, if I lean as much towards the ryes as you do. I know you're a huge
I'm a huge rye
fan.
guy, yeah.
I do like them. And then when you pair it up with the, that's that sweet spot, right? That 110 and above. And you hit it with that. So that peppery rye spice added to that heat. Very good.
Yeah.
And the after, it's on the back end, it's got a nice sweet, because we were talking about how it was sweet.
The pepper hits you up front, and then, like you said, it finishes with the sweetness on the back end.
And it stays with that
yeah,
it stays with you, and that sweetness. It's like, because sometimes we've talked about a couple of them that we've actually both that we've liked and we've disliked, but some of them had the aftertaste almost made it where it wasn't as good.
Yeah,
This has a very sweet aftertaste that lingers for me.
for sure.
You know what I mean? And that, like I said, I think with that rye spice and the heat, I've told you, I like that sweetness.
This is this is good. And I'm not getting any kind of oak. I think this is a 2-year rye, if I'm not mistaken. Again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this is a 2-year rye, which again explains why you're getting some of the younger notes in there, and you're not getting the tannins and whatnot from the oak. But it is delicious. I mean, it's one of the best ryes I've had this year. The closest thing I can compare this to would be a Russell's single barrel rye is what my mind's going to that right now. Similar proofs, just as good. And again, this was high as far as dollar amounts go when it comes to a rye, especially if it's a 2-year rye. This was around 90, which, don't have a stroke because I almost did when I picked it up, but I just had never had it.
Right. Well, and
I thought it was cool,
they're
so I picked it
not
up.
readily available here.
They're not, but they're working their way into
They have,
it.
because just recently, because we were talking recently because you had just gotten the double oak rye and the bourbon, or I think you were waiting to pick up the bourbon, and I told you that I found it in a couple of places.
Yep.
And so that I was actually surprised because we've looked into it in the past, and I've seen them, but I haven't seen them in a store.
Yeah.
Right. So
No, I picked up the high rye, which I couldn't find here in Georgia at all. Was in North Carolina. Ordered the double oak rye online, and like you said, a couple stores recently around us have gotten the double oak bourbon.
Right.
So again, we'll get into all that in the next few weeks and kind of do a full review on Peerless.
I'm looking forward to the regular double oak bourbon, but also that double oak rye, right?
Right, yeah.
That they have. And then you said you also have a high rye.
A high rye, which is supposed to be really, really good, and it's much darker and richer as far as the color than their regular rye. But as far as the regular rye goes, it's great. Again, $90, kind of high.
Yeah.
The other stuff just gets more and more expensive. I think the high rye is around $150.
Yeah.
The double oaks are around $99, $90.
Anywhere from $100 to $110.
Yeah, the double oak bourbons. The double oak rye was like $140. So they're not getting any cheaper. This is the cheapest one.
Yeah.
So we're easing you guys into it. But as far as would I buy it? I'm not sure I would buy this particular one at $90. I think this is more like a $70, $75 bottle. But hey, it's a cool bottle. You're getting that. If you're trying to add it to your collection, pick it up.
I think
put it on
depends
there.
on what you're looking
for. For sure, yeah.
And especially if you can't find, and like I said, and we don't even know. This one, I mean, it would be hard for me to believe that this one would be better than those other ones that we have.
It's not going to be. The other ones are going to be awesome.
But especially if you can't find those other ones and you can come across this one, I mean, I would definitely do it.
It's great. I mean, you're not going to miss with it. But again, we're trying to go for value, right?
Yeah. So if you could, it'd be great at about 70, 75.
Yeah, and that's 80, about what the
you know,
Russell's single barrel costs. And again, Russell single barrel to me is up there. I mean, it's as far as ryes go. And again, you're getting the same thing. You're getting, cask strength rye that hasn't been watered down. So, I would like the price to go down, but I will give them the edge on their bottle for sure, versus the Russells.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, add it to your
question.
question.
Don't forget the Jack single barrel rye.
Jack is another one, and that's like $70. So I wish they would just come down maybe $15, $20 on their price, and maybe they will when they become more available. And I understand that I'm comparing some of the biggest boys in the business to one of the smaller craft distilleries, but same thing with the 13th Colony, I mean, their prices have increasingly gone up because demand's gone up.
Right. Well, you know,
So,
and that's the thing. You know, you start putting out a product that's really good.
Yeah.
It's going to drive that up, especially when it's a smaller distillery. They can't.
Yeah.
You know, we were just talking about it before we came on. That, you know, in terms of like putting out the numbers that they need to now. You know what I mean? From a smaller distillery like 13th Colony, you know, it's probably going to get even worse.
It's going to get worse.
You know,
Prices are going to
in terms of
continue to go up. I'll give you a funny story. The 2 double oaks that I ordered, I'm not going to mention the state I ordered them from because it might be illegal. But, you know, I ordered it off a website, and it was like a mom and pop kind of liquor store that delivered to Georgia with FedEx. Anyway, when I got them, I was like, you know what? I can't find these anywhere. Let me order one more bottle. And when I got back on their website, I think I paid like $140, and they were already up to like $160. So they had already increased the price. So demand's going to go up, and price is going to go up, unfortunately, for all these craft distilleries. And
Of course, they may have done that. I wonder if they had to pay the guy that smuggled it into Georgia
it's very possible.
extra $20. That's why they went up once you put it back in there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the mafia. The mafia has been known to smuggle bourbon into Georgia, and they do have a fee, a tax, they call it. So,
not that the mafia is related to any other state out there that you might have gotten this from.
No, this is the Dixie Mafia that we're talking about, okay? So anyway, that's all I got on Peerless for now. But like I said, stay tuned because we're going to be talking about the other bottles coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and I'm very impressed. Like I said, now I can't wait for the other ones.
For sure.
So yeah, please, you know, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff.
I got distracted because I think a ghost just moved that thing. So yeah, whatever he said.
Put this down over here.
Yeah, for real, that thing moved on its own. But
yeah,
subscribe, comment, let us know what other Peerless products you've tried before. Maybe we even get into the double oak stuff, see what you like.
Yeah.
Give us kind of a heads up. But yeah, we appreciate you guys watching as always.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate it, guys.
yeah, cheers.
Thanks.